Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast. Thank you for tuning in to another brand new episode. Coming to you live from inside quarantine. I hope you all are staying safe and healthy out there. Some wild times for sure. This is crazy stuff. But we still are having, I still have my singer-songwriter show scheduled for April 14th over at Naked Vine. This will more than likely be a closed door event, and we're going to probably just do it on Facebook Live for your viewing pleasure. So keep an eye out for that. That'll be April 14th with Adam Donald, Ian McGowan, and Lacey Williams. So looking forward to that event. It's really a bummer that this is not the way I thought it was going to be, but, we'll make do for the circumstances. But everything over at Naked Vine, they've canceled all live music happening, but you can still come visit them and purchase your wine or whatever it is. They are open as a retail shop right now, so swing in there and visit, and so keep continuing to support local business. Again, you can find them in Chesterfield, Missouri, right off of Clarkson Road, and you can shop in their store, or you can visit them at nakedvine.net for more information and listings of all their wines and stuff. So, also be sure to reach out and support my good friends over at Roughneck Beard Company that help make this show possible. You can shop at their store at over in Maplewood, Missouri, or shop online 24/7 at roughneckbeardcompany.com. They've got all your beard needs, your beard oil, beard balms, junk powder for your junk, and all sorts of things. You can mention RPP15 during checkout for an exclusive 15% off of your purchase. So that's a good deal. Check it on out. Again, at roughneckbeardcompany.com. Also, thank you to Heil Sound for their support. I'm recording this intro on my Heil microphone, and I've been loving it, so you've been hearing me talk about them. So head on over to heilsound.com today and get yourself some new gear. But yeah, that's some crazy times, guys. I hope everybody's doing all right, and you hope you are able to sit back and enjoy this brand new episode of the show. And I will see you all soon, hopefully. Have a great day, everybody.
Podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
Hey, what's up? This is Ryan.
And this is Drew.
We're the Belief Cycle.
And you're listening to Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Scissors beat paper, paper covers rock. Rock beats scissors, Shane covers non-stop. Never know what new kind of guest that he's got coming at you. Live and direct on the spot. Could be rock, folk, country, or hip-hop, jazz. All kind of folks that he has. Could be an artist or a comedian to make you laugh on the
Rock Paper Podcast.
double-decker fudge round, rolling round town. Shane coming at you live and direct from ground zero. He's your hero, he's your bestie. Rock Paper Podcast with Shane Presley.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Hey, everybody. Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri. Hanging out today with the Belief Cycle. Welcome to the show, guys.
Yeah, what's up?
You guys want to properly introduce yourselves for everybody listening?
As we both look at each other.
Yeah, it's like I'm Ryan Marquez, play keys, sing, produce, and play bass in the Belief Cycle.
Drew Mantia, I'll produce vocals, right? Guitar, drums. We kind of do it.
We kind of do it all.
All in the studio. We kind of do everything live. I
we do like a looping show. So live, I'll be singing lead, playing guitar, and looping drums, and he's doing keys and keyboard, bass, and singing and juggling all that stuff.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's when I was listening, I mean, obviously on the record there was a lot going on. I could tell for two guys, like, you know, I could tell it was a lot of, you know, in the studio and stuff, but I was wondering about the live shows, if you still keep it the two of you, or if you bring in some extra, you know, hired guns for the live shows, or how you pull off some of these songs and stuff. So
well, I think the cool thing about the live show, I feel like, is it's been an evolution, you know, for us. And I feel like it's a process that will always continuously tweak. And right now, as it currently stands, we do play as just a duo, where Drew does a lot of the beat making live, actually right on the stage. And then we'll set up, you know, the general groove, or establish a loop, and then find our own kind of parts that allow us to be more free, or to add elements of improvisation.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like we pride ourselves on the amount of noise that we can make with just the two of us. Like, you would be surprised at how generally close to the size of the album we can create with just us two. And we've also experimented with playing with a band and stuff. We even took some video at Gaslight Studio. There's a little on YouTube. There's a Belief Cycle Gaslight session. Not one of their actual sessions, but like we did. Although shout out to Matt McElrath, who does. Do you know Matt?
Oh yeah.
He also lives in this building, and he did across the street in this warehouse. He's got a video studio, and we did a session with him for his own Media Outlaws is his thing and his channel. So we have a session of us doing this looping stuff that's also going to be on YouTube with the release of the album. If you want to know, since you can't come see the live show right now, if you're listening to this in real time, that'll be on YouTube, and you can kind of check that vibe out. But we did our own little Gaslight session where we just threw up some cameras, and we did a session there with a 6-piece band. So it's like we've got some video content where you can see us with the full band. You can see us do the duo thing. We were also kind of like, portfolio-wise, you know, if we pitch it to like a festival, maybe we'll send the 6-piece band version, you know, and we could beef it up for that.
Always free to change it up.
Yeah. Although at this point, I feel so good about the duo thing that we'd probably just do that.
Yeah, it's like, it's working for us right now. So
yeah, definitely. Well, let's. So we talked about this record a little bit. We're teasing at it, but the Belief Cycle Celebrate, available digitally everywhere now. We also have CD format. You can purchase that at thebeliefcycle.com. And but I guess take me back, guys. Like, I want to get to know a little bit more about you two, and how you two became to working together and start this group and everything. So where does all this get started at?
It goes way back. It goes 15 years back.
15 years, baby.
We did a little yesterday. Actually, we're just trying to generate some more content around, you know, the album coming out, and we also we recorded some dope interviews with great podcasts like yours, and also we did a little self-interview where we came up with questions for each other and like surprised each other with the questions, and he gave this cool little recounting of meeting and everything. But we met at Webster University. We were both music students there, and you kind of have like a better recollection of maybe more like the moment-ish.
Oh yeah, I would say, you know, we met at Webster University, and as college freshmen, we found ourselves in a lot of the same classes together, and we also had a lot of the same hobbies and interests, and obviously making music, playing music, and then also, you know, being a college freshman, finding ourselves in situations where we were having fun.
Yeah,
and so we developed a friendship like through the college years. We even lived together, and then we also had different configurations of original projects and supported each other's original projects. Drew had a band called the Drew Mantia Band, and I played in that. And then Drew's been supportive of a group that I'm also in called Fresh Air through the years. So it's like we've done a lot of work through the 15 years, like really just like supporting each other, and then also working together on all kinds of tracks. But now it's evolved in the last 3 years to being this duo, the Belief Cycle.
Yeah.
And it's I actually can recount how we got there. So even I actually left St. Louis at the end of 2010. I lived in Kansas City briefly, and then I was in Chicago until last year. And but even during that period, we still I produced some solo work that he did. I was still like mixing stuff for his band Fresh Air that he mentioned. You know, I would send him stuff that I was producing to get some keyboards on. Like he even played kind of a seed of this group was in 2012. It came out in 2013. This song I did with a Chicago artist named Probcause. We did a collaboration with Chance the Rapper, who, you know, is even at the time was big and now is gigantic.
Yeah.
And the song was called
Artist of the Year,
LSD.
big.
And I was producing that and wanted to get some extra electric piano on it sent to him. And it was like that the success of that song kind of put a little seed in my head of like, it influenced my production going forward where I was like, yeah, maybe I should. I really enjoy doing this. And it's, you know, it was played in the millions and millions of times. So I was like, people obviously like this song and I liked making it and I liked the vibe. So I'm going to kind of go down this route. You know, it was like a EDM hip hop kind of blend. And so that kind of started becoming my general production style on the stuff I was producing for other artists. And so when it came time to actually start this project, that was kind of the natural fit of let's adopt this sound. And, you know, credit to Ryan for the starting of this project. Like because I've had people ask, I've had some of our old friends ask me like the slightly insulting question of like, why Ryan? Like, why are you...
Really?
You'd be mad.
That's funny.
You'd be mad. Well, you wouldn't be surprised if you knew who.
Oh, probably not. Yeah, I'm
but
sure.
like, you know, it's like you with your production skills and stuff and your singing, like you could have just done this on your own the way if you're going to do an electronic project. And I was like, well, the reason besides just being a fan of his work, you know, I think first of all, we're just big fans of each other's. We're kind of each other's biggest fans. And I think that's part of the greatest fit.
Yeah.
And second of all, it had to be Ryan because in the time, so when I left St. Louis, I started, you know, I had the Drew Mantia band thing, and that was going pretty well. We were playing all the good venues and doing the local showcases at the pageant that they used to have. They might even still have them. And, you know, we played a lot of places like off Broadway, and we could draw like 100 people. It was a lot like family and friends, but venues were happy to book our band, you know, because it worked out every time. And so it was going pretty decent. And then when I moved cities, I started getting hired more as a producer, and that was still pretty fulfilling for me, and it started paying the bills. So then I started focusing on that. And, you know, I would get that, you know, 3 times a year phone call from Ryan, like, oh, but, you know, and by the way, are you still writing your songs? Are you singing your songs? And he's like, I know you're producing some dope stuff. And he's like, I know you're making money producing, and I know that it's going well. But he's like, are you writing your songs? Are you singing your songs? And I'm like, no, not really. And then for like 6 years, it was like, I'm really not. But I'm really happy with this producing. And then like I finally, in the end of 2016, it was actually on your birthday, August 11, 2016.
That's right.
That we had a little jam for his birthday at the Kranzberg.
Shout out
Art
to the
Center.
Kranzbergs.
Yeah, shout out to Kranzbergs, resident Kranzberg artist right here. And after that, just he and I and a couple other people did a little after thing at his place, and he gave me the thing again. Are you writing your songs? Are you singing your songs? Oh, not really. But this time he threw in he was at a certain place in his life, and I was at a certain place in my life where I was also feeling like something was a little missing. So, and it was kind of becoming clear that using my own voice in music was kind of what was missing, because I had been successfully producing for other artists, and that's really great. And they have fan bases and that fans that have become my fans through the beats I do for these people. But yeah, something was itching to me to use my own voice again. And he threw in if you do it, I'll do it with you. And I said, okay, that's a bet. So I went back to Chicago, because at that time we were still living across city. So we actually started this across city. That was we started this at the end of 2016, but we didn't really, really get about it until the past year. That's when we've really kicked it in. We had several shows.
It's an organically grown project.
Yeah.
We grew this mug from fertilizer back like 15 years ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is a fine wine that's been sitting on the shelf waiting to be delivered and shared with the world, So.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I went back to Chicago, and I was like, I'll send you some demos. And I started making some demos, and I believe the first song was Celebrate. That is the title track of this album. Also, one of the other songs that made it, that's a tentpole of this album, Energy, was within the first 3 songs that, I sent him a little 3-pack of demos, and we just went from there. We actually had a handful of shows like early on, and then we kind of stepped back and just went into this incubation period of
just writing,
and we wrote and recorded like 30 songs, and we put out, which is still, you can still stream this as well if you like. Check out Celebrate first, but if y'all like that, we have a mixtape that we did and that we put out in like 2017, 2018 called Grateful, and that was like, we just went through a stage of experimenting, and when we knew something was really great, we put it in the, like, we're going to use this for the album pile. And then there was something, and then the other stuff that was like, this is good stuff, but we don't feel like this is honed in on the lane we want to be in. Then we would put it in the mixtape pile, and that's what we actually originally released like 4-track EPs, and then repackaged it as Grateful, the mixtape. But one of the things we wanted to do with this project, because we've been in so many different projects together, we've studied so many different kinds of music together, we've stylistically done so many things, we were like, let's figure, and this is what we spent the years from 2016 through 2019 doing, or up until 2019 doing, is figuring out, like, who do we want to be and who do we want to sound like, and let's find out what a Belief Cycle song sounds like and go all the way with that. And I think that's something I'm most proud of about this album, is I just think from top to bottom, it sounds like us. It's our cohesive sound, and everything we've made since then is in that lane too.
Yeah, man.
Celebrating like the last day on this rock. I don't have time to waste on all the pessimist talk. I ain't saying that we shouldn't have a little dialogue. I'm just saying, now we run the circus, so I'm signing off. I need to do some work on myself first. Know it sounds selfish, you gotta put your health first. When you get your mind right, that's when you can help most. When you get the time right, that's when you excel most. It'd be enough to show the way. If you would just face your fears, I'd leave you right now today. I'm tallying the years, I'm wiping all the tears. Now the smoke is clearing, and I'm standing right here. We're gonna celebrate it. Celebrate. celebrate it. Just free your mind, you see inside what I say. If you could just open up, it'd be enough to change today. Stay true to your heart. If life tears it apart, you turn it into art, and that's just where we'll start. We're gonna celebrate it. We're gonna celebrate it. Celebrating cause I know it's temporary, yeah, scary and I'm wary, but the fear ain't gonna steer me, no. I'm always open to a difference of opinion. If it isn't based on fact, I really can't listen, no. I wish you well, I really do, cause this a movement. I put my blessings into motion, really do it. If you ain't with us, well, it's all good, truthfully, but please get out the way, cause we got way too much to do today.
Well, let's talk about Celebrate. Like I said, you mentioned the track, and this is so the title track, but also the only track that has a featured artist.
Yes.
And you mentioned him on the earlier Probcause, who was on that track with, you said you brought him in with that Chance the Rapper.
We did a bunch of cool collaborations. Chance the Rapper, Action Bronson, Twista, Lil Dicky. Oh, and there's even more that I'm blanking on, but he's also tours with a huge EDM act called named Grizz. They do the festival. I mean, Grizz on his own tour does 2, 3, 4, 5,000 seaters. Like we went backstage for his pageant show a handful of months ago. Filled out the pageant. Does all the huge festivals. He's near the top tier on all the festival announcements. So he's someone that Probcause has been collaborating with for several years now, and to the point where they have enough songs together where he takes him on tour as a part of his acts, because he can come out and do like 5 or 6 songs throughout the set. Grizz is like a producer DJ who also plays sax over his beats, and he has a guitar player and a trumpet and a sax, or trumpet and trombone backing him up, and a singer and a rapper, and a insane visual show. And also Grammatic is another giant worldwide touring EDM artist that he works with. Probcause is the first Chicago artist that I started producing and engineering for when I moved there. And if you're into hip hop, he's someone to check out for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So that was to get him. I wanted to, he's one of a handful of artists that helped me grow a fan base as a producer. And so part of the people we're aiming at with this project are people that have been liking my beats over the past 8-10 years. Because the ask is at this point just you already like these beats. I'm just asking you to listen to them with a different vocalist than you're used to. you know. And I also produce for singers as well, so it's not. Honestly, my hip hop stuff has been more popular, but it's like I make feel good hip hop tracks that have these not dissimilar from what we do. So it's just so collaborating with Probcause on this was first of all just natural because we were around each other, and a way to bridge my hip hop work with this, and that's kind of part of the mission, is to bring those. If you like my hip hop work and you like my pop work and whatever, and even if you like Ryan's jazz work and you like Fresh Air and all these different things that we've ever done, kind of tie in here.
Yeah. Nice, man. I did also wanted to share a tune called Boogie Tonight, which features Ryan on vocals, right?
That's right.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, it's going down tonight.
I could tell right away by the look on your face. It's going down back at my place. Much to do, so let's cruise to these tunes with no trace. Let's boogie, oogie, oogie. I could tell right away by the look on your face. It's going down back at my place. Much to do, so let's cruise to these tunes with no trace. Let's boogie, oogie, oogie tonight. Boogie, oogie. Let's boogie, oogie, oogie tonight. I could tell right away by the look on your face. It's going down back at my place. Much to do, so let's cruise to these tunes with no trace. Let's boogie, oogie, oogie tonight. Boogie, oogie. Let's boogie, oogie, oogie tonight. Boogie, oogie. Let's boogie, oogie, oogie tonight.
When I like this too, because like the whole album has a lot of range, like you said, like you're talking about, so a lot of the different sounds that you guys are able to pull off between the two of you. But this one I felt like was maybe the funkiest track on there. Like it just really feels good. I love the keys on it for sure. And so you want to talk about Boogie Tonight, Ryan?
Oh yeah, Boogie Tonight is it's a fun, dancey little tune. You know, like it was like really a cool moment for me because it's actually like I guess like officially the first track in the Belief Cycle that I sing lead on, and so it's a personal it's like a personal achievement of mine and favorite of mine, and just like I really like the production, like Drew and I collabed on the production of that, and just like the way that it all kind of feels like a story or a journey, you know, because it's like a feel-good track, you know, like Drew was saying. It's just like we want to encourage the listeners to just feel like they can put it on, and like you could be at the club or you could be like at your barbecue, or you could be like cleaning your house, or you could go to the gym, like, you know, but wherever you are, just like boogie tonight, you know. Sure,
man. The whole album is a really good listen on cruising too, just down the highway, like to drive to, because like that's what I did today, and it was a lot of fun. Just like get you kind of, you know, wiggling in your seat a little bit, and but I can imagine have a lot different effect if I was on the dance floor. But but behind the steering wheel, I got to be careful. So
we tried to catch. It's about 30 minutes long. 33 minutes, which is actually also both of our ages right now.
All right.
Or at least it's actually like 32 something, but if you look at it on streaming stores, they just round it up to 33. So I'm sure if you put the disc in your car, it's 32 and change. But
nobody's counting that hard.
But you know, it's for also like I do 30-minute workouts. He does something similar, so it's like catered to that. It's also catered to like a drive. Maybe you'll get 2 drives out of it or 1 long drive.
Drive there, drive back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I also want to fully admit, before we get off Boogie Tonight, just admit on record that I was like against that song and was wrong. And I've had people say like, you know, I was previewing it for, actually Probcause was somebody I was previewing it for, and I was like, what do you think about this song? He's like, that might be my favorite one. And because I was just like, dude, I don't know. I wasn't seeing the vision, because we had made the beat together, and so that was in place. And it's cool. It kind of has like a little bit of a back and forth personality, because he definitely took lead on like the funkier part, and when it turns into like a rap beat, turns like a trap beat. Yeah. That was like my like flip up of it. So, but yeah, then we just made that beat, and he sent me a little demo, and he was like, I wrote this to that beat. What do you think? And I was like, I don't not like it. I just don't see us having a song on our album, Boogie Oogie, Boogie Oogie Oogie. I just don't see it happening, man.
Just gotta trust me, man. You just gotta trust me sometimes.
But I'll make anything, and then, you know, we can decide what to do with it. So I was like, you know, come through, we'll record it, and we'll see from there. And like once it was down and I started working with it, I was like, yeah, I'm in. Yeah. But yeah, so I was wrong on that one, and glad to admit it.
I mean, I've, you know, there's like numerous stories like that though, that like artists that have cut a song, and then like this is going to be a flop or whatever, and it turns out to be their biggest hit and things. Like, I mean, just there's a lot of that kind of stuff, but people have no idea what the crowd's going to respond to, and all of a sudden, like, let
the people decide.
Yeah, so
the people's key.
Yeah, man, there you go. Yeah. Another shout out.
Can't help it.
Yeah, that. But yeah, man, it's a fun song. It just feels good. But I feel like I was telling Drew, I think Ryan was out of the room at the moment, but I was telling him it's almost like when you're listening to the album as a piece, like I feel like. Boogie Tonight is like part 1, and Toothbrush might go like, as you're talking about, the beat kind of flips, goes Toothbrush kind of part 2, and almost like they're hand in hand for me, which is another favorite track of mine. Because, you know, I feel like Boogie Night's like the you're setting the mood. That's you're at the club, you're dancing, having a good time, and then you know, you happen to wind up back at home, and you say, hey, I got a toothbrush with your name on it, and so.
Too basic to me. I'd rather have a dialogue and direct you in my own scene. If you wanna see stranger things, then you should hop in these shits. Every good girl a freak, if you get what you need, yeah. Done, you ain't gotta leave. Get half a bed you can sleep. I offer some amenities, a towel so you can get clean. I charge you for your blank screen. Let me cook you something to eat. Got a toothbrush waiting for you, that's hospitality. Come my way. Ain't no rush, girl, but don't delay. If you came to get it, then you can stay. I got a toothbrush with your name on it, with your name on it. Another cheap thrill, you just might be what I need. The way you come through and put it on me, it just might give you a key. I've been jaded a while now, but you just might make me believe you could be all I need. Only one way to see, yeah. Come my way. Ain't no rush, girl, but don't delay. If you came to get it, then you can stay. I got a toothbrush with your name on it, with your name on it. Make yourself at home. You don't need to be alone, no. Now that will be my zone. You don't ever have to go. I got a toothbrush with your name on it. I got a pillow with your name on it. You took my heart, you put your name on it. I got a toothbrush with your name on it, with your name on it.
I think we, yeah, it was.
Nice.
I think we semi-purposefully did it for the first like handful of songs. It doesn't carry through like the whole album, but like track 1 right now is like, it's about being in the moment. So that's kind of it kind of sets the scene for having fun, where it's like, hey, let's just be in the moment together. And then when you go to track 2, Appetite, that's like a real like dance floor, feeling sexy, meet somebody, like that's kind of like you meet somebody at night, you're out at the club or the bar, you meet somebody, then you go on to Boogie Tonight, track 3, that's like you're leaving the spot, and Toothbrush is you get back home to the spot. And then I guess if you fast forward like in time, Energy is like you're having relationship problems. Like, so things really worked out.
It was good
after the Toothbrush.
Yeah. That's when you know a relationship's good, when you start having problems.
Right.
I could even make an argument that Feels ties in to track 6 because like Energy is like you're on the rocks, but doesn't necessarily like go all the way to saying this is like a breakup situation. And then Feels can kind of be like you've like re-reconciled and now you're in a good spot.
Yeah, man.
But then once you get to Maze, that song is
Making
just
a
like
story
that's our political song.
So when Belief Cycle the movie comes out,
that's it.
The first
There we go.
6 songs.
We got the soundtrack.
Yeah,
now we
right.
just need to shoot the movie.
Yeah,
Like,
the first half.
if you're a videographer, hit us up.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
like the first half of songs because Same Key is kind of a twofer. So there's kind of 12 songs in a sense. We initially, some like material that was cut, we had an intro that was really cool. It was a cool idea. It was just a little bit over the top in this. I think it was a lot to ask people to bite off and chew for like our first real release. Maybe someday. We had this intro where, the outro version is still on the album. So after the last track, Same Key, there's this little "We Need More Love" outro. And there was a version of that was the intro that was a little beat like that. And then it turned into like a piano vocal thing where we like, actually like Ryan like goes through, we did like a musical overture where we teased parts of the songs that you're about to hear. And I even like
So we got the movie music already.
Yeah,
is
kind
what
of,
we're saying.
basically. We have the
like,
musical
we need the
version
video
for sure.
people.
Yeah, we have the
and the
musical.
dancers and like
Yeah.
we
So
need
then
that
like
stuff.
modulated through these keys and then went into went into the first song that also got scrapped. And then there was like an interlude of it. And then the part that's still there is the outro version of it that comes after Same Key. But yeah, we were getting like really ambitious with tying it all together. And then
It's like some Avengers stuff, man. Like Marvel universe tying it all together. You know?
tie it all together.
Yeah, and like
TBU,
who says it?
TBCU.
Who says it has to come out in the order? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we just felt. I mean, for better or worse, it's 2020, and people really just want the songs.
Oh, yeah,
you know, they don't really want the whole connective tissue and stuff. They just want to see what.
But
songs
wait till
they
the
are.
vinyl comes back, man. Because once people start listening to the vinyl and buying that again, because that's going to go up, then everybody's going to be all about making sides.
Yeah.
That'll be like the new thing.
That is.
Well,
Like making 20-minute runs.
We're getting there though. I mean, I think vinyl outsold all physical forms in the last couple of
Yeah.
years. Like I
Right.
mean, they've definitely
cooler
made
to
a
collect.
So now that people are in a position where they're going to be able to like listen to their music in their own spaces, then like having your music set up will be like more of a thing now again. Like, cause remember like back
Yeah. you
when
had
we
your
were younger,
stereo.
everybody had like a stereo, like a Bose or like a Sony or something. It was like this big thing with all these huge speakers and stuff. And then as time progressed, you know, it's gotten like smaller and smaller and smaller.
Right.
But now that people have the chance to be collectors again and they can do whatever they want with their setup, then I can see a world where people are gonna buy vinyl over, you know, that's going to be like the asset. And so then that would force, you know, us as songwriters, producers, musicians to, because I personally like thinking more conceptually versus single oriented, you know, because it's like with the singles are cool. It's like they both have their pros and they both have their cons, but it's like I guess like the author in me or the storyteller in me that really enjoys being able to kind of stretch out like the jazz musician in me, I guess.
Yeah.
Enjoys being able to tell paint a picture and tell a story.
Yeah, I'm into that too. Like, unfortunately, for better or worse, I really fought for like, unfortunately, what I've become as a listener, which is like, I'm part of the problem. Like, I don't want the song to be much longer than 3 minutes. We really shoot for like 2.5 minute songs.
Right.
I was like, I can't really roll with an album too often that's more than 20 or 30 minutes, because you know there's some stuff being called albums now that's 20 something minutes, and I'm like, unfortunately that's good for where I'm at as a listener, and you know I don't think that it's not going to keep my attention. Like, you know, you're not going to catch me with a new Dark Side of the Moon at this point, where it's a front to back experience where everything ties together.
Really, I love that kind of stuff. So
I do.
I look for those
theory.
albums.
I do in theory, and writing something like that would be really cool. I just think that you have to really earn that attention these days. You know, maybe for like our 5th album, it'll be like a front to back experience, and it is like it's a bucket list thing for me.
Synced up to the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
like
let's start putting the Wizard of Oz on mute and get to writing. But it is a bucket list thing of mine to like write an album front to back. Like, write the first song, and you got to write the next song transitioning off of that, and just piggyback so it's conceptually and chronologically written in order front to back. Yeah. So someday, like when we got the
we
fans
can do
for-
whatever. It's all creative license.
Yeah. Oh,
at
yeah, we
this
can
point.
absolutely do whatever. It's just like at this stage,
Singles are a good.
yeah,
good
I want to
move.
make it easy for you people listening to get into this. So
Sure.
So let's boogie tonight.
There you go.
Right now.
Yeah.
right now,
If you got an appetite, we can get you out the
celebrate
maze.
right now.
Yep.
That's right.
That again, you can find all this at thebeliefcycle.com and your streaming platforms and everything. So get involved. Follow along on Facebook and Instagram.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
if I can make one plea, give us the follow on Spotify.
Yeah.
You know, even if you've got just the free accounts, even if Spotify is not your main streaming service, and really any artist that you're willing to give a little support to, that's a way to give completely free support. I mean, we'd also love your Facebook follow, or we're way more active on Instagram at The Belief Cycle. But if you follow an artist's Spotify, that helps tell Spotify's algorithms that this is music worth sharing to other people. So Spotify will then, the more people that follow, it will push your music to people's playlists, and And Spotify has a really good playlist culture where people do discover new music. So
Yeah, man.
the more that people follow and the more that people that, you know, get the song delivered past their ears, actually listen to it and save the song to their library and stuff, that's really helpful. And that costs you absolutely nothing. Either you got a free Spotify account or you're already paying for it anyway. The follow costs you nothing. And it really does help us big time. So, you know, we'd love to sell you an album too on iTunes or sell you a disc. But if you just already have a Spotify, give it a listen and give us a follow. And that's one of the biggest favors you could do us.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I get turned on to a lot of new music through Spotify. Like,
Same.
I listen to a record, and then like when it plays out at the end, like, and it starts suggesting other similar artists, and I feel like, man, what is this? And I pull it up, and I've never heard of this artist, and I'm like, this is fantastic. So yeah, their algorithm is definitely working
It
well.
definitely
So
works.
yeah.
I like to make song lists, like mixtapes, you know, like, but on Spotify, you know, not an actual tape.
Yeah.
And it's fun to curate like different sounds for different things.
Yeah, man.
So
We'll also check out like what comes on after our songs and be like, oh, this mix is awesome. Like this is totally what the stuff we would like people to hear like after our stuff, or you know, or be discovered within these kind of
It's
songs.
nice to know that our radio station doesn't suck.
Yeah,
Like-
that would be terrible.
Yeah. It's like it flips to like Saba, Chance the Rapper, Erykah Badu.
Saba's one of the ones I
Madlib.
missed. Sorry. That
Yeah.
we've collaborated with Probcause and myself as well.
It's like Anderson .Paak, you know, Thundercat.
Yeah.
It's like that's like a lot of cool things about Spotify is learning about artists who you otherwise would have never known about them because they're like maybe like haven't cracked the algorithm yet, but
Right.
you can like when you dig in the rabbit hole, you know, you're like, because you can go to the feature that's like if you like, it's like whoever the artist is, it'll be like if you like this artist, try, and then it'll list like 6 artists, and then you just click on one of those, and then I always just like I just look for either the title is captivating or the artwork is cool, and then you can kind of catch a vibe from that, you know, after a while. Like sometimes it's totally off. You're like, this is cool artwork, and then you click it and you're like, this is terrible music. But sometimes it's like that's kind of how I follow it. That's all like I'll be like, oh, is the artwork and the titles, and then you just kind of, you know, it's
Yeah.
fun to get lost.
Oh yeah, I got a buddy, Patrick Sweeney. He's actually, so his was through Pandora though. Like that was the big one that kind of helped push him a couple years ago. But he recorded, years ago. They grew up in the same town. He grew up in Akron, Ohio, with Dan Auerbach of the Black Keys.
Yeah.
And Dan actually played in Pat's band at one time, playing guitar and stuff. And then he stepped away. He's like, I'm going to start this new project, and developed the Black Keys. And then that blew up into what they are today and stuff. But Dan also produced his record. Cool. And so through algorithms on Pandora, he when Pat's record came out, he started getting lumped in with Black Keys Radio, and he has a song in particular that was picked up on the algorithm or whatever, and it was called "Them Shoes." And that song, you're talking about selling singles and stuff. That one song outsells his entire catalog, like because all these Black Keys fans are buying that one song, and so it's kind of like, I mean, hopefully they're going through and they're coming like. It's funny. I talked to Pat about it though, and like when he goes out to do these live shows, it got to the point where he was like about done playing that song. Yeah. And but now people are showing up because of that song, so now he has to close the show with it. Yeah. And so it's a really weird dynamic how the internet has changed his career and stuff. And
pros and cons to everything. You know, the pros are it's actually like easier than ever to get discovered potentially, but it's also like. These same things that we were praising are also what has broken me as a listener to where like I'm one of these, like I'm saying, I'm one of these people that like I have a bunch of artists that I like 1 or 2 songs from that I either like check out their album and I'm like, I don't really like the whole album, but like this is my jam. Or to be honest, unfortunately, a lot of the times I don't even check out the album. I'm just like, I'll I'll see what happens next time one of their songs comes across my screen, and if that keeps happening, then and I keep liking it, it's like then I might become like a for real fan. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm also like a terrible fan too. Like for an artist like that's out here trying to build fans and stuff, and who's been actively doing this for like almost in like a month. I will have started my musical journey 20 years ago, and I'm a terrible fan. Like I don't follow my favorite artists of all time. Like
Right.
I don't know what's on my favorite artist's new album really. Yeah, maybe like keep up with like maybe John Mayer a little bit, but even like didn't spin a lot of his last few albums. But that's actually an artist that we like first connected on.
John Mayer for sure.
Yeah.
Well, he's a guy that, I mean, I've talked about him a lot too, how can cover so much ground as an artist. I mean, like, he did pop, blues,
Yeah.
Americana, Playing with the Dead. I mean, like,
Played with Herbie Hancock.
Yeah, guy's
played
done
with
it.
John Schofield.
He's done it all. Like, I mean, as an
Yeah,
artist,
I
and
think
like,
he's
and he's got
used
fans in all these different, areas, but they all are,
Took
general.
Jerry Garcia's spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
crazy.
Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
You gotta respect the way that he's used his platform, his celebrity, which was like after about his third album, he was just like, I've already got all the money and the fame. I'm gonna switch up the style. He makes, he went through like kind of a country folk kind of phase
Yeah.
for a few albums.
Born and raised.
Born
Yeah,
and
because he
raised
wanted
and-
to take all the awards at the Country Music Awards.
Yeah. And then like his last album, The Search for Everything, he like combined all his different genres of songs into one album where there's folk tracks, there's more like his big album like Continuum, which was like the height of my liking his style, which was like a poppy soul thing. He has songs like that on there. He's also used it for like comedic purposes. He tried stand up, and now he has like I don't know if you've heard of this.
He almost had what's his name's gig on the late night show. He was running for that.
a music director.
No, as the host.
Wow.
It was Craig Ferguson's gig.
Oh, the Late Show or whatever.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, now he has.
He was in the running for it, and they let him do a test episode. It was like four. They had because it was like you could tell they were doing test episodes to see who they were going to pick as the host. And they had like 3 or 4 different ones do like a run.
Right.
He had a variety show. I never saw it, but he had a TV show for like a very short run, and now he has a show he does on Instagram Live, Current Mood, that like gets millions and millions of views. He also successfully used his fame to bang a bunch of celebrity women. So,
He
like,
also
that
got
guy's
a
just
tattoo.
Figured that out. I mean, he's legit. He's respected as a songwriter. He's respected as a guitar player. He's respected in some senses as a comedian, and like he bags like all the classic hot Hollywood women. Like he's funny.
Yep. None at all, man. I really enjoyed his appearance on the Chappelle Show too.
Classic.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
Yep.
He's good.
Oh yeah. Let's drop in one more tune. We kind of touched on it earlier. A song called "Same Key," and I picked this one particularly because I felt this would be very appropriate for today. I mean, the everything's just going crazy outside with everything going on right now, and I felt this was a good story in the song and the lyrics and everything about it, like that we can all come together on something.
Yeah, and it sucks that it has to be something like a pandemic, but pretty much like so many people in the world are experiencing the same thing right now. And even though it's a negative situation, it's like, how often in the history of humanity does this happen, where across the almost entire earth, we're all in really a similar circumstance?
Yeah, man.
$7 billion living in the blink
of an eye. How can your frequency be different than mine? It's gotten difficult to keep the time. New conductors, please step in line to lead us in harmony. The dissonance has been deafening. It's getting hard to find space to breathe. Can't everybody see? We're all in the same key, the same chords. Together we can rewrite our score. We can make a sound the universe can't ignore. We're all in the same key, the same chords. Together we can rewrite our score. We can make a sound the universe can't ignore. Feels like we've been singing in halftime, but the melody don't groove and the words don't rhyme. How do we decide which notes are right? In this scale, no notes collide. Cause we're all in the same key, the same chords. Together we can rewrite our score. We can make a sound the universe can't ignore. We're all in the same key, the same chords. Together we can rewrite our score. We can make a sound the universe can't ignore.
But I think that's what's beautiful about music and this song and stuff like you're saying. All the throughout the lyrics, they were the same key, the same chord, and I mean music brings us all together. And yeah, there's a lot of different styles and different things, but music's celebrated across the board. I mean, across the world and everything.
That's right. It's one of the universal languages that exist in reality.
Yeah, man, just rhythm. Just something. People can find their own groove to whatever it is, and so we all respond to it as humans and stuff. So I think there's a lot to this song. I feel like, and it's something that needs to be heard today more than ever. So check that out. Give this one a listen. But hopefully I shine a little light on everything. Raise some spirits and some positivity and stuff. Because right now there's a lot of people bumming. It's a crazy world right now, and
keep your head up.
Yeah, for sure. That's all you can do, man. We'll get through this, but we gotta stick together and not fight each other about it and all that stuff. So
unconditional love is the only truth. Everything else is illusion.
Yeah.
And we, if I can give you like a pitch for listening to the album, expanding on not only the same key, Shane put it really well, but when you listen to that song, I'm using lyrically music as a metaphor of like our togetherness as like the harmony of music. But that really, we wanted that vibe to run through the whole album, where like even way before there was these pandemic circumstances, we felt like people needed some extra good vibes in their life. And that's really that song, it kind of ends the album because it encapsulates the goal of the whole album. Is really at the end of the day, we want you to listen to this and feel good. We wanted to give you some positivity and some energy. And, if you're kind of bummed right now, this might be something you could use in your life. You might need this. I don't want to be like pretentious about it. I'm just that this could be something that makes you feel better. And I've had people, that have previewed it and stuff and heard the singles, tell me that it does. And that's the biggest compliment and biggest honor for me, is just to hear that it made somebody feel a little bit better.
Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to do that with this show, that people have emailed me or whatever and like told me that it's made an impact on their day and stuff. And I'm like, that's the coolest compliment. People that they're making some kind of effect on somebody's day, and like that's. So I'm with you, man. It feels really good, and that's what kind of those little things like that help motivate me to keep going and keep doing it and stuff. So yeah, hopefully some people listening to this record today will have a similar experience. So, yep, it's the whole, like again, the whole record, the Belief Cycle, Celebrate is a real good time, fun music, and it give you like I said, put it on and dance to it and have a good time at the house or car or wherever you're at today. So, but what's so I mean, we got this record out, and you kind of talked about teasing at some what's next and stuff, but what is next for the Belief Cycle? I mean, right now we don't have any shows going on with all this current state, but
well, we're definitely still writing a lot, and the great thing about like we have been stockpiling songs for a long time, so we've got actually a list of songs that we're going to be coming out with throughout the rest of the year, featuring some collaborations with some of our favorite artists like the Palmer Squares, like Probcause, Paige Alyssa, St. Louis-based artist.
Yeah, she's great. And she's been on a show, friend of the show.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, she's a friend of the friend.
We did a song with her called "Girl Crazy," that's out there that you can check out. But so we've got songs programmed, throughout the rest of the year. But we also, like the way Drew and I just are wired, we're just always like up to stuff. Like we're always making stuff. Like we're always scheming up things, like trying stuff, like refiguring stuff out, like making a plan, changing a plan. Like we just are constantly tinkering away. So
since last August, we've been releasing a single or a video every 3 to 5 weeks leading up to this album release, and we're going to keep that same momentum up. I mean, for the next about month and a half, we're gonna focus on. We got some music videos to release for this. We've got just general content around this album, and then we're gonna be right back to dropping new stuff every 3 to 5 weeks, and we're super excited about that. So
you talked about mentioned some you guys done some of those so far shows, and things are. I mean, do you guys want to do some more of that? Some more like touring and things out of this, or
we definitely want to do more touring.
We had several lined up actually.
We had a bunch of shows canceled. We were supposed to be in Chicago, Kansas City, where else? Indianapolis.
Yeah, and Chicago again.
A
couple Chicago shows. Yeah, this was going to be. This last year, or even just this last 6 months, like was by far the most we've ever been out there performing.
We were getting the shows revved up hard.
So we've done several So Far Sounds. We actually we got to play for the founder of So Far Sounds in Louisville, Kentucky, because that's one of the newer cities, and it's been like their growth has been huge, like one of the fastest growing so far markets ever. So he lives in England, but he wanted to come out personally and see it, and that just happened to be the show that we're playing on. So we got to play for and get the cosign from the founder of So Far Sounds, and we use that to book a bunch more all throughout the Midwest. And for now they're canceled or postponed. Although we really love that company, and to give them a shout out for how much they support musicians. They sent us an email out letting us know that everybody who had a gig canceled is still getting the pay for those shows, just as a means of living up to their mission that they support artists. And they're a company that you get a lot of people saying they support something or saying they support artists, and then I'm not trying to bag on anybody, but it's like there's somebody who puts out the message that they support artists, and they really, really, really do. Yeah. They have a worldwide fan base that they put unknown artists onto, and they pay you something for putting on the show. I mean, it's not much, but for a show where they're putting you onto a built-in audience of dedicated music fans that come looking for new artists, I think the pay is totally fair, because a lot of people would try and give you a opportunity like that and say, oh, it's exposure, and then nobody shows up or something. Whereas like these things are always filled up, they're always sold out. The people come looking to find somebody new. So
it's nice if you know what you're signing up for, then you're signing up to build your fan base. You're signing up to, like, if you know that that's like what you're going into, then it's a great fit for you.
They get you great photos. They get you video content. We'll be re-promoting it soon now that the album is out. But we have a So Far Sounds video for Energy, which is on the album. We have another one that we haven't released yet, which is actually from our Grateful mixtape, the title track from that. But it's still a cool piece of like us playing this house party, because if you're not familiar with So Far Sounds and you're listening, they do their shows in interesting environments, almost never in a traditional music venue.
Right.
Anywhere from we've played house parties, we've played the last one we did in St. Louis. A shoe store, a trendy shoe store in Chicago. In St. Louis, we did a 3D printer shop. Made St. Louis is this 3D printer workshop, and we played in there. And people they set up a PA system. Some of them are straight up acoustic, where there's not even a PA system, and it's just maybe you and an acoustic guitar and unmiked. And I've done that too in people's living rooms. Some of them are in living rooms. Some, like I said, some of them are more house party vibe. But most of them, are at like an interesting store or co-working space or something.
Yeah.
And they set up their PA. People come and sit on the floor, Indian style. You bring your own booze, and they really sit there and listen and soak in the artists. And if you say, hey, it would mean a lot to us to follow. If you followed us on Spotify, you come home and you got new Spotify followers. Like, they really take action. They'll buy your merch. But if you're listening to this, you're probably a music fan and a local music fan. And I couldn't recommend enough going to one of these shows. It doesn't matter who's playing it, and they don't even. That's one of the cool things about it, is they don't even tell you in advance who's playing it. I think maybe 24 hours in advance, they might even tell you. 24 hours in advance, you find out where it is.
Right.
And then I don't even know if you find out who the artist is until you get there. I don't remember. I've done most of them, as an artist. But it is such a great experience as a concert goer. And it just, their mission, which they totally live up to, is just cutting out all the BS and just being there to take in some great new music. And and you really get that out of it, and it's just a super fun experience. So if you're listening and you haven't gone to one of these, I couldn't recommend it enough. It's a great date. It's great for a group of your friends. You know, I would go to one solo if I couldn't get people to come with me, because you'll meet cool people there, and it's just an awesome vibe. Couldn't endorse them enough.
Well, I guess subscribe on the YouTube channel, The Belief Cycle.
Sure, yeah. We also
finals videos.
Yeah, it's kind of scattered right now. We got a couple of our music videos are there. We've got a couple live videos. The So Far stuff is like on So Far's channel.
Sure.
Basically, we got a decent amount of video content right now.
Yeah, just come to the Belief Cycle.
Just YouTube search the
channel.
The Belief Cycle, and you'll get
combine everything else.
results. Yeah,
but come to our channel,
right?
Yeah, but we could definitely use subscribers. We haven't built our channel up yet, so if you want to be among our first YouTube subscribers,
hop on early. Then you can say you knew us when.
Right. Yeah. Man. Well, very cool. I got a couple of quick questions I've been asking people, and they're always fun for me. But what and you both can answer as individual artists or as a group. But what's a dream duet or collaboration that you guys would like to see?
A duet? You said a collaboration?
Yeah, dream duet or collaboration.
Ooh, I would love to do something with Stevie Wonder.
Yeah,
that would be amazing.
Yeah, we're both. Stevie's
the king.
For all of us.
He's the king, right?
I
Quincy Jones too.
You know, I'm obviously a huge fan, but there was just a moment. I'm hoping it was all factual, but I was watching The Voice the other night, and there was a guy who I was auditioning, and he said he was playing some room or whatever, and Stevie happened to be in the audience. Was like at the this bar or whatever it was, and he wanted to come meet him and wanted to jam with him, and I was just like, how cool would that be? Obviously
that would be the day.
Yeah, I'm just like, how does that happen to somebody? Like, you're just like,
he's supreme. Like he made like every good song and every good sound,
but that just
every style.
Yeah, that just shows though, like he's just a cool guy too. Like, I mean, like he believes in the music and the people and stuff. So he's not. So anyway, I just like made me even more of a fan to hear that story and stuff. So he does that kind of stuff like that. So I thought it was really cool. But yeah, that'd be pretty wild to get to collaborate with Stevie sometime.
He's supreme.
We can pretty much take that as a band answer. I mean, I guess if I was going to throw in an original one, I think I would actually go with Miguel. Yeah, he's like an R&B cool. Pop singer that I'm really discovered in the past couple years, and I don't know. I feel like a contemporary of his, which is maybe like a little unfair of me to like put myself anywhere near him, because I mean he's got a couple platinum songs and he's a big time artist, but we're like the same age, and I can just like we listen to him and feel like we have really similar taste and stuff, and or you know what? Okay, my final answer, and I thought of this because she's also a fan of Miguel. Kimbra, she's an artist. She lives in the States now, but she is an artist from New Zealand. She's the featured singer. She's the second verse on that huge hit "Somebody That I Used to Know," Go TA.
Oh yeah.
So that like was what jumped her out of the gate. She's a producer and a singer, and she's just an amazing writer, producer, singer, performer, and that's where I'm going with my final answer. As I would love to work with.
Nice.
Yeah. What's a song that always gets stuck in your head? What do you guys wake up singing?
It depends on what the day is, really. I feel like there's a different song.
What's the latest one
every season?
I mean, I know mine. I knew mine instantly.
What is
it's 6th Avenue Heartache by the Wallflowers. If you don't know what that is, it's awesome.
Yeah.
They're like a 2 or 3 hit wonder from the 90s. I don't
know. That whole record was really but that's about it. Like,
listened to it recently, yeah.
Yeah, they haven't they had that one real big huge record, and then they've kind of like
One Headlight was their biggest song,
right?
And then 6th Avenue Heartache would be their second biggest song, and a few other ones.
Jacob Dylan, Bob's son.
Dylan's
Yeah.
Bob Dylan's son.
Yeah.
6th Avenue Heartache has Adam Derwitz, the singer from Counting Crows, does the background vocals. So it's like 90s as hell, and so like not stylistically what I write to, but it's just long story short, it's besides just liking the way it sounds, it's about like a homeless guitar player that he used to pass on 6th Avenue who disappeared, either passed away or moved on or something, and but he, and he's basically saying that like we're kind of a member of the same fraternity, like even though I'm, like a professional touring known musician and you're a homeless guitar player on the street, like we're the same. He says in the hook, the same black line that was drawn on you was drawn on me.
Yeah, man.
And, I don't know like why black line is the analogy, like black line drawn on me, but it instantly like tells the whole story for me of what he's trying to convey, that we're of the same ilk.
Yeah. Yeah, man. You got one, Ryan?
I would say like in general, it's like anytime like my mind just goes on default, right? It's like a Bob Marley song, you know, probably like "Could You Be Loved,"
yeah, man,
or "Three Little Birds" or something, or like "Get Up, Stand Up," or like Rainbow Country, just like it's like I feel like when my mind is actually still enough to not be bombarded with all of the music I'm working on, because usually if I have to be honest, usually the song that I wake up in the morning with singing is whatever I'm working on,
right?
Like that day or whatever I'm like super juiced about, like wherever that energy might be in the moment. But then when it goes back to default, it's probably like Bob Marley, anything Bob Marley.
Yeah, man, we can't go wrong there. Guy's pretty good.
Yeah.
One of the best for sure.
It's a good feeling. Like when you hear his music, it's just, it's immediately like you're there in a rainbow country pasture full of sunshine and love, and you can just like forget about your worries and your job. And I don't know. I like if anybody out there needs some feel good vibes to like just instantly feel good, it's like, for me, reggae music, I think because of the tempos that it's at and because of how generally positive and forward or the statements in the music tend to be. There's just something, I mean, it's hard not to feel reggae music when you hear it.
Yeah, man. Well, very cool, man. Well, I really appreciate you guys doing this. It's been a ton of fun getting to properly hang out with you guys and get to talk about this music and this record and everything. So again, I highly encourage you to grab a copy of the Belief Cycles Celebrate wherever you're getting your music. You can grab a CD from the website, thebeliefcycle.com today, and tell a friend, spread the word. Let's get those numbers up on the Spotify and everything else. And like I said,
thank you so much.
Well, thank you guys, and let's do this again soon sometime.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah. All right. Bye, everybody.
Peace.
Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Well, yeah, that was it.